Okay, so we've got here a Midland 77099, one of these sets. This is one which has been acquired over the last year, and Mark has said it's not working other than the TX light. Well, better just take the lid off to see if there's anything inside. So we'll be doing this on our standard replacement mic. We do have a factory original mic, which when we sell this set, which is a set which will be destined to sell as surplus, will not be part of it because it isn't part of it. We keep factory original mics which haven't come with sets, like that. Yes, well that's half of the course. So that we know what this should sound like as a reference. Well, these usually suffer from dry joints, and it's usually under the shield plate. That shield plate. It's had the audio chip changed at some time. And they've managed to introduce a short circuit there. The track has gone across, come away and gone across the next pin. In fact, it's not connected. Oh well, it's got a possibly more of a fighting chance, but that might not have helped the audio IC. We're supposed to be doing a Sony camera charger, CB27, which is quite an expensive charger, like 129, 149 pounds at the time, but I'm waiting for parts. So at the moment we'll use the factory mic. So it powers up, and these always start off on channel 9 annoyingly. We've got audio. Have we got transmit? No, we haven't got transmit. So the fact we've got no receive and no transmit, I'll just check with my walkie-talkie. Tells us the synthesizer isn't running, so chances are we've got a dry joint. So instead of pussyfooting around, we'll just take this shield plate off. Because you know perfectly well there won't be any dry joints where you could see them. That one there was a wicked dry joint. I'm going to have to clean up because that could now be shorter to the next track. It's flowed in with the wax. Okay, let's see what happens now. Hey, we've got receive. Well, we've kind of got transmit-ish. We've gone over the current limit, that's what happened there. Right, let's see what it does. So that's the extension speaker on the wall rather than the instrument speaker. When the sets are a bit of an iffy thing like that, I'd rather not connect them up to the test gear, which could be damaged, so we just use the extension speaker on the wall. So let's see what it's doing. I've got the emergency warning light come on the test set. It's doing 5.2 watts. That could be why. It's throwing out some right harmonics. Let's go to another channel. Channel 1, 5.2 watts. Channel 40, 5 watts. Low power, back to channel 20. (210 milliwatts). Back to full power. Current consumption 1.6 amps. It's too much for one of these. I'm going to go to low power just for safety. Wow! It looks to be like the deviation is 4.5 initially. We won't be doing that. And let's have a look at the frequency. (27,79130). Wow, that won't need adjusting, will it? Receive. Let's go to SINAD meter. I'm not sure I'm in the right mode. Got 0.75. .66. And oh, it's not going to do. It's not going to do that. Squelch. It's a bit funny on these sets. Full squelch. Never opens. Threshold. 0.3 microvolts. Now sometimes on these sets, if you don't plug an aerial in, the squelch doesn't open. That's not a fault, it's the way it is. The 095s, the 099s and the D version of the 77104 and the 77805 will all do that. Sometimes they work as you expect, sometimes, as I say, they don't open until there's an aerial plugged in. Right, it doesn't have an RF meter, good. Doesn't have an S meter, good. Doesn't have a meter lamp, good. Switch, the only switch works. Potentiometers work. The socket works. Doesn't have one of those. Our mic works. But there you go. Doesn't have one. Go out with a brand new one. Right, see if we can do a tune-up. So in order to straighten out the transmitter, we've actually got to increase it. Doesn't that sound bizarre? Centre of the peak. Centre of the peak. So far they've been all right. It's got wax in it. Never known wax in that one before. That's correct. That's correct. So at 5 watts. Just going to look at another set to make sure there shouldn't be a core in that coil, and the answer is no, there shouldn't. So I'm hoping there's a power preset. Perhaps it's that one. It is. We'll do the deviation with the other test set. So spot on 4 watts now. We've not got the emergency warning coming up. That's not a warning against the power being over 4, because this is a commercial test set. It does up to 30 watts for business radios. The warning is when there's excessive spirit emissions. So put it on channel 40. It's doing 4 watts, 4 watts, and on channel 1, 4 watts. That's a good start. Don't think that low power is adjustable on these. We've now got 320 milliwatts. And the current consumption is now 1.29 amps, which is where you'd expect it to be for that output. I can't see any of the coils have been fiddled with. It's just somebody screwdrivered it to full whack, and that's not how it works. Right, we'll do the deviation later. So we're not going to do the frequency because it's doing 27.79128. It's very, very slightly higher where it should be. As we've warmed up, that's where it is. So the trimmer there we're not going to touch. That's spot on. Right, so we'll go through the receiver. It's already working well, but it'd be nice if we could get a 20 dB reading. Perhaps the detector's out, so we'll go for that. Put the oscilloscope on the screen. Right, we'll start with the detector. So make sure there's an S9 equivalent signal on the signal generator of 100 microvolts. Enough volume to see a meaningful trace. Wow, that's miles out. No wonder we couldn't get 20 dog biscuits on it. Let's get this squelch to minimum. Now we'll go to the SINAD meter. It wasn't insensitive really. About average for what these do. Just put the less signal on. It's about there. No real difference there. Little tiny bit there. Well, that's it. So let's see whether we've got an improvement. So for 12 dB, we've got 0.76. So seemingly worse, but then we've done the detector, which can happen like that. 10 dB, 0.71. For 20 dB, here you go, 1.6. Less than 1, round about 0.7 is fine. And let's hopefully the squelch will be better now. So squelch to full. Yeah, right. See if we can adjust that. If we can remember where the squelch is. So, there aren't that many adjustments. There's going to be deviation, power and squelch. We've done power, which was there. So deviation is where? Or isn't there a squelch one? Oh, I bet it's down there. Yep. Being pretty meticulous with this. There we go. Still needs to be a bit more. Might not get that. It's 30. I'd rather it be like that than the other way. Let's have a look at the minimum. .3. There we go. Just need to do deviation. I haven't got the test set on, so I better switch it on and come back in 10 minutes. Right, so we thought the deviation was probably a bit high, so I'll look at it on the other test set. Wow, it is 3.5. So I'll just get that set correctly. Wow. Now I'm going to try it with the standard replacement mic. pop it up a bit with the standard replacement. Might need to set it with that because that's what everybody would be using. Wow! Whoops! Is that not in the thing? Wallow, wallow. There we go. Right, we'll plop it onto the aerial. Just put it back on the other test set and see what the deviation says on there. Regular users will know I'm using 2 deviation meters. Because the one on here, to do with its capacitors changing, it's not always telling the truth. Let's go back to camera 1. Wow, he's actually right now, it's 2.5. Now here comes the next bit. What does it read with the factory original? Wow, he's capable of 3 with the factory original, but the point is no one's going to be using one of those. Can't think of many of those still existing. So it's 2.2 to 2.5. Why are we coming and going like that? Because we're not on the right channel. Okay. So that now works. I've got to try and find 2 lids now. So that's a not so bad but got a bit of a dent in it lid. Got the shield plate back on. Before I put it together I'll do that with isopropyl. So as a temporary measure I'll just pop that lid on. And we'll pop that lid on too. Still got, somebody's chopped off the wires, haven't they? So if somebody's got a circuit other than the one that was in the back of the instruction book, which we don't seem to be able to blow up adequately to read the values, then email me. We may be able to help more people if we had a bit more information. I've got some of these. I've got one with there's no 8 volts on receive, and the fault's going to be around on there. Because I can't read the circuit diagram because it's too unclear, I can't get to the bottom of it. Some of these are dated in 1989. So here's the moment of truth. Does the speaker work? It doesn't without a mic plugged in. Right, we'll just talk to our walkie-talkie. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3. Good. So just pop those on as a temporary measure. Actually, if we put a couple of screws in the top one, by top I mean speaker lid. Right, we'll put this on the aerial. Oh, I've got to do a power lead as well, so I'll have to open it back up. Get it on the aerial. We'll do it on the air test when Mr. Chippy is available. Is this one there, the squelch actually opens without an aerial? Yeah, it does. So it was a dry joint, a single dry joint, and it was under the VCO cover. It was a short circuit where somebody's changed the audio IC and failed to notice that. Always start off on channel 9 because they're annoying. 19 a Roger. Somebody out there. Okay, so there you are, Midland 77099 brought back from the dead. Thanks for watching.